Kajawai City YMCA de kerchan ke yung krekam ke District Social Welfare Officer Jawai ha ka sotari uni ubanai de chim gaya galat wo penman i pynsñiawthooh pajba hajrong i emkam wo yo ye chai ikhia he bor perkhat perdany knang yo ye u yada ne thmu penyap ye ide ya gani ke yalang pynsñiawthooh de penman ha auditorium ka District Library menthong Jawai de wawan chimbenta ki khynnah skur na ki skur wa pher Dayo iklam pediang na ujon Chulai Presiden Jawai City YMCA, iklam na Shamir Jet Thaba Regional Secretary YMCA NER, wa iklam ya khamat nagawai na jer District Social Welfare Officer West Giant Hills. Naite ka kongsan yong gani kasingiwan ka APCM District School Education Officer West Giant Hill District, hawa kalam onggo, ikjut hebor perkhat perdany mto kam ikjut wabon wa ye uchem smat yo ye usumar. Tangwa ka waye uchem jai pajai ha u ne ka bro bakan thup kam ka depression anxiety I chong semen itin wa kiwi ki waman kidang wa khian waye uchem ha ki bro wa chakta he chai ikhia I bor perkhan wa I wam ye uchem he por wasman wa ha ka jukat ni la dato ki khynnah ne ki wa he bon ki wamat ya depression na ikhia perkhat video mynsien ha ki dur ki rukom wa pher han lam ye utip mit le kam jo wat hai im kam ki khynnah skur le hai to wa ipure puthi kam tam hai por exam wa ki wi ki daw kam te kentu ko wa hawa mat kam ini to uparam ukhana u yechem ya kalam khnang yo lai I u he ki bru chempang wa dawan bo e batai bini hajrong kani ka phang to u e1 mi u majaw wa u Dr. Idan hagani ka singi da samle ya ki certificate sa ki khynnah skur wa job hai ya kop drodur naite di yo iklam e khublai na Reverend KL Khongla u khot ka Jawai City YMCA wa idwai panwai na Reverend GS Chulai General Secretary Jawai City YMCA
You primary pila panggil anxiety depression la kamu prom ini la ejen na bongo perkhat ringa kita kejut na ini kena lah ini nasihat tu ada primary depression anxiety dong ngalak senyawan teh mana ngalak senyawan teh ngalak juk senyaw prom belok ngalak kan teh sarna ada kejut ada mental illness sah kante mau teman kamu you don't need to know all this kemot gini medical technical terms you feel environment problem just say mau kita depressed feel dan siapa pun cuma berkat piang ngasih stress aja jimut dah ngai aja tak tu depressed semua orang itu upaya sudah take level of depression dalam saya kam ke medical guidelines depressed feel tak boy bang boy di day boy tiap boy dem day let's say letiau ye tiap dia bilang tiap dem letiau maybe asni dok tiap pi mesti dalam skor pi kuat tiap maybe itu dah long pi lepas tu take level on your anxiety you will fear you have that fear tin pi one tin pi kita future pi tin pi kita komting yang pi affect what you kata daily activities yang pi ngai kadang bin pi la skor bin pi wa kot yang pi pem fall pi one kategori tangwa if snyang pi to I need help you need to seek help. Memang ada yang hidup depressed, yang hidup anxiety to help him. No. Siapa yang can help, seek help immediately. Talk to someone, talk to your counselor, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents. Sampai itu yang can do. Kita ada brief episode pangitegi mental health disorders kejap. Tegak tu lah direct saya pangitegi ke suicide. Kamu ni topik tak ke? Suicide, prevention of suicide. What is suicide? Kitin pareng, kitin penari dia suicide. Penyap, you penyap. Jadi, pesi. Suicide itu dia pesi, bon je. Orang ini, kita beru cual suicide pagi, they'll go through with all those kita betai kita ni. Kita kau betai kita ni step betai counselor kita betai kita madam di SEO bila dah go through kita ni depression, kita anxiety yang ki. Only when they have those level of condition, kita orang lupa cerita pot suicide. Kita wan tipi, come on kam kita wan. Kita yang kita ni seek help. Kelam yang kita suicide. Jadi go aktif. Ni khai phi ne ba ai hostel yang ni mangapor ki kena wan gi a gi dikti or khai phi ongi yang tin freng ongi hesitation cut tin hi kwa la kwa hi they have two lines tin gi a snam tang kwa la kwa hi la kwa ha pun yu no to nga no do ha pun yu no nga klan ya ha pun yu to nga no do le ga ni na kemudian those signs, those symptoms is the first steps to suicide. The note ini, one day when you cannot control yourself, you'll cut yourself the throat like. Pika ini lebih be control dah. Ite dah on pi wo itu macam high tech hesitation cuts. Sebi petai pi tak ini on pi tak common mah. Win kidik dawai. Di dawai prostamol. Dah kami kena di dawai sisi strip. Imtip ikamon, bila di yang tel imtip i, bila di tha. I problem. Most problem natak gemai natak ju em kro em chan, pelai chan. Ha? Sama hayung. Ha, simple as that. Ha, tu. Eman kena eman Soviet tak wacai ke bagi kalau ni Muslim di wan dukan ang ke bagi lek lagi pada lek Islam ni tei dau kang luar di sebab tu dawai tadi tuan hostel tu ang made pi if you are in the right mind lek di kam teh kata ang pi ho tang ngai yo boni kini pi lek percang
person, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or whatnot. I got a word from my teacher that they say, he is not he's not a studious boy. When I was studying, they say, you study a lot, how come you didn't score? It wasn't the teacher's fault. It wasn't my parents' fault. Because my process of what I studied, I cannot remember more than what should be remembered. And I struggle a lot. No, the concentration, the way we concentrate, how it's, teachers knows, we set a schedule, a timetable for every period, maximum 45 minutes, right? Because that is the range where we can fully concentrate on each and every subject. Beyond that, we cannot comprehend what the teachers are teaching. So, what is mental health? It includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. The way we feel, the way we think, and the way we interact with others. How we handle stress, communicate with others, and we make decisions. The way we think in our brain is how we speak. So, if our mind is sound, the way we speak also will become clear. If our mind is not sound, are we thinking in the right manner or not? So we cannot say the things which are right from our mouth. It will be the same. So it is not just the absence of mental health is more than just the absence of mental disorder. It includes the total well-being, physical, spiritual, knowledge, financial. When we grow up, we work. When we work, we are checking our financial capacity, because that determines how we interact with the society, how we interact with others. If we are financially supplied when we work, if the salary we get we can manage, then we are fine. But if we cannot manage with the salary that we get, if we spend more than what is needed to be spent, then we are struggling mentally. What is our next salary? How will we buy our stuff and all those things? Okay? Mental health is a state of mind characterized by emotional well-being, good behavior adjustment, relative freedom from anxiety and disabling symptoms, and a capacity to establish constructive relationships and cope with the ordinary demands and stress of life. This is according to American Psychologists Association, Dictionary of Psychology. It states so. Why is mental health important? Because when we talk about mental health, I can see that people are becoming like, what is mental health? Because we just started to delve in the problems of mental health. Because we weren't aware. Back in my school days, no one would talk about mental health. But now I am so thankful to God for the privilege that He has given the insight to our leaders, to different departments, to the social welfare for conducting such program.
Today's program is particularly about suicide prevention. We thank God that in our society, in our state, not much of this spirit or of this thought, the suicidal thought, it had taken over people of our state. So we thank God for that. Even though, of course, suicidal cases are here and there in our state, in our district especially, but we thank God that it is not random, it is not common. So we thank God for that, and through today's program, I believe you will be able to get more knowledge on how to prevent these mental health issues. Now, mental health is a vast topic. Mental health is not like a common disease where we can detect and diagnose. Because mental health, we have to look for the symptoms, the very indefinite symptoms where a person shows slowly. For example, Samir had mentioned depression, anxiety, isolation, fear. These are the small symptoms that we find in mental health that cannot be detected very quickly. And many a times as people, as students also especially, because this is your program, so as students also we find that we go through, I know as students you go through a period where there is a peer pressure and you feel uncomfortable. You feel looked down. You lose that self-confidence. So that slowly affects your brain and your nervous system. And eventually that will lead to depression, that will lead to anxiety. So these are the things that are included in mental health issues. And we find that in today's world, many of us, be it the young people, be it the elder people, we all have some kind of depression or the other, even though we do not recognize it. So as students also you do have, I know that you do have some kind of depression, some kind of anxiety, especially as I've said earlier, exam stress, right? Do you agree with me that you all have exam stress before your exams? Yes, right? So in one way or the other, we all have our own issues. We have our own mental health issues. And if not addressed, it will lead to grave consequences, and which will ultimately lead to this suicidal thought.